What if the things you're about to throw away could build an entire fairy world right in your backyard? Every yogurt cup, every bottle cap, every tea tin, they all have hidden stories waiting to bloom again. Welcome to Mind Over Decoration, where imagination turns trash into treasure and gardens into dreams. In today's video, don't throw it out. 17 plus magical summer fairy ideas from kitchen trash. We'll explore whimsical ideas you can create with simple kitchen waste, reimagined as glowing fairy houses, pastel planters, and recycled garden magic. Maybe to you, I'm just another face on a screen. But behind this channel, there's a real story, and a real family. This isn't just a video, it's a piece of my heart. Every like, every comment, every subscribe, it truly matters. When you hit that subscribe button, you're not just helping a creator grow. You're helping a dream stay alive, one click at a time. Thank you for being here. Thank you for seeing me. Under the forgiving glow of a midsummer morning, something impossible stands quietly between the lavender rows, a fairy gazebo made from kitchen trash that somehow looks softer than silk and lighter than air. Its round walls shimmer like sherbet, painted in pale sorbet hues of mint, peach, and lemon. If you look closely, each curve once lived another life: a milk jug handle, a soda bottle's belly, a yogurt cup's edge. But here, they are no longer waste. They are windows for sunlight, vessels of new magic. The gazebo hums softly with life. Ivy curls gently up the sides, threading through the cracks between recycled bottles. Tiny fairy lanterns, spice jars wrapped with lace-cut fruit nets, dangle from the eaves, glowing with a borrowed golden light as if fireflies have taken residence. A circle of wildflowers surrounds it, foxgloves bow, daisies tilt, and bees float lazily through the perfume of thyme and mint. Children would swear they've seen movement inside. A shadow. A flicker. Maybe the rustle of fairy skirts brushing against bottle walls. Adults smile knowingly, pretending not to believe. But there's something about the way the colors catch the breeze, how sunlight filters through every translucent panel, scattering reflections across the soil like watercolor spilled by unseen hands. You crouch closer and realize how simple it really is. Bits of kitchen plastics once bound for the bin now stand as pillars of color and care. Each piece bears a fingerprint, a brushstroke, a decision not to waste. The structure breathes joy, not perfection. It is an act of transformation disguised as play. And perhaps that's why it feels alive. Because in the end, this isn't just about recycling. It's about what happens when you take something ordinary and choose to see it differently. A gazebo born from kitchen trash becomes a place where imagination lives again, a summer fairy temple where magic feels as real as sunlight and as fragile as plastic reborn. When the breeze moves through, the bottles tinkle softly, and for a fleeting second, You could swear it's laughter, the quiet, grateful kind that only fairies make. When the morning sun spills across the patio, it glances off something small and shining at the base of the planters, a row of pixie doors, each no larger than a teacup saucer, made from old jam jar lids and forgotten kitchen scraps. At first, you think they're toys, but then the colors catch your breath: sorbet pink, mint, buttercream, lavender. The paint is slightly chipped, the edges imperfect, and that's what makes them perfect. Each door has its own story. One wears a handle made from a single golden bottle cap. Another is edged with the rim of a yogurt cup, its surface brushed with faint glitter that catches the sun like dust from wings. Around them grow herbs that seem to lean closer: thyme, rosemary, basil, as if guarding their secret residence. When the breeze moves, the doors creak faintly against the planters, as though something inside just moved out of sight. They are born from nothing but yesterday's jars and lids, yet they hold the charm of childhood's imagination. Perhaps that's the true spell here, the ability to look at a lid once sticky with strawberry jam and see instead a doorway to another world. The hands that built them didn't follow rules or blueprints. They followed wonder. A bit of hot glue, a streak of pastel paint, a bead pressed for a knob, that's all it took to turn waste into welcome. Visitors smile when they spot them, leaning in closer to the garden's edge. Children whisper questions into the cracks: are they home? Bees drift past like curious messengers, and petals fall silently, decorating the tiny thresholds. No matter how long you watch, the doors never open, but that doesn't matter. Their magic lies not in movement but in possibility. Every garden needs a little mystery, a place where reality ends and stories begin. These jam jar pixie doors offer exactly that, proof that a handful of trash can become a handful of dreams. They invite you to kneel down, to notice, to imagine the small footsteps that might echo inside when no one's looking. And maybe, just maybe, that's how real enchantment starts, with something as humble as a lid reborn into a door. In the quietest part of the summer garden, beneath a lace canopy of fern and ivy, something peculiar glows in the shade, a cluster of coral-colored mushrooms that seem to hum softly with life. Their caps glisten like painted porcelain, but look closer and you'll see it, the delicate edges of egg cartons, once plain gray, now reborn into tiny sculptures of wonder. Each mushroom rises from the earth like a little miracle. Some are pale peach, others soft coral, a few kissed with creamy white spots that catch the filtered light. Their stems, made from rolled paper straws or trimmed plastic forks, curve slightly, imperfect, but full of charm. At their base, moss thickens like velvet, wrapping the cluster in a natural cradle. A ladybug pauses at the rim, then vanishes into the green. The beauty of these mushrooms lies not in precision but in play. They don't imitate nature perfectly, they reimagine it. The painter's brush strokes are still visible, telling a quiet story of patience and reuse. What was once kitchen waste, something tossed aside after breakfast, now blooms again as art beneath the garden canopy. There's something deeply human about them. You can almost feel the hands that shaped the carton cups, cutting, pressing, painting, smiling. The transformation feels gentle, like a whisper that says, "Nothing is ever truly waste if we give it a little time and love." When the sun filters through the leaves, the caps shimmer faintly, coral, melon, ivory, as though alive with their own pulse. Children who wander here often stop mid-laughter, eyes wide. They point and whisper, "Fairy houses?" Adults lean in, pretending not to care, but their faces soften just the same. The mushrooms invite imagination, and that's their secret. They remind us that magic doesn't have to glow or move. Sometimes, it simply sits quietly under the shade, waiting to be seen. And when evening falls, fireflies drift close, mist gathering low around the mossy patch. For a fleeting moment, the mushrooms seem to glow from within, not because of light, but because they were made with intention. Made to remind us that even the most fragile pieces of waste can become something alive again, under the gentle hands of summer. High on a sun-drenched garden shelf, tucked between pots of mint and rosemary, sits a small cafe that seems to belong to another world, the Summer Fairy Cafe, built entirely from old lemonade tins and kitchen scraps. Its tin walls shimmer with soft pastel hues, the colors of sorbet skies, blush pink, lemon cream, pale mint. From a distance, it looks like a toy. Up close, it feels like a storybook come to life. The door is a cutout jam jar lid, brushed with white paint and framed by twigs wrapped in thread. Above it, a scalloped awning made from citrus fruit nets ripples slightly in the warm air, casting playful shadows on the patio below. A sign, hand-painted in curling letters, reads Lemon Blossom Cafe. It's just a scrap of cardboard, yet it sways like a real cafe sign in a summer breeze. Bottle caps serve as tables, each topped with pebbles for plates. A tiny teacup, maybe the bottom of a broken yogurt pot, sits ready for an invisible guest. Around the base, small daisies bloom in wild clusters, while a few sprigs of lavender lean protectively over the cafe, their purple heads nodding in approval. The smell of herbs mixes with the faint metallic scent of sun-warmed tin, creating something oddly nostalgic. In the late afternoon, when the sun begins to soften, the cafe seems to come alive. Bees hover near the opening as if placing orders. Butterflies rest on the roof. And for a heartbeat, you could almost hear the faint clinking of fairy teacups and quiet laughter echoing between the petals. It's not a grand structure. It's humble, a patchwork of things that once held soup, soda, or jam. But maybe that's its magic. The cafe doesn't pretend to be perfect. It reminds you of summer afternoons spent making something simply because it made you happy. And in that way, it captures the very essence of imagination, not to build something functional, but something that feels alive. As twilight settles, the little cafe glows golden in the fading light, surrounded by herbs, petals, and possibility. It stands as a soft rebellion against throwaway things, proof that even a tin once meant for lemonade can, with a little care, serve joy again. The sun sits high and kind over the garden, its light trickling down through the foxgloves and mint leaves. At first glance, it looks like the flower bed is alive, dozens of butterflies glinting softly as they hover above the blooms. But step closer, and the illusion unwraps itself into something even more magical. Every butterfly is handmade from old plastic spoons. Their wings curve delicately, reshaped by gentle heat and patient hands, each one painted in shades of summer sorbet, lemon yellow, coral pink, soft lavender, and mint. Some shimmer faintly in the sunlight, others glow matte and quiet. Their bodies are made from twisted bits of wire or capped bottle tops, perched on thin rods that let them sway gently with every breeze. They are still, yet never truly motionless. Even the smallest gust sets them dancing like laughter on stems. They guard the flower beds like loyal sentinels, keeping company with daisies and snapdragons, marking each patch of soil with a note of whimsy. And though they were born from something so ordinary, spoons once used for sugar, tea, or leftover pudding, here they feel alive. Their transformation feels like a celebration, a defiance of the disposable. If you kneel close enough, you'll see traces of fingerprints along their paintwork, proof of their handmade origin, evidence of care. The paint blushes into pale gradients, as if each wing carries the warmth of the summer air itself. Bees hum nearby, unbothered. Butterflies of the living kind sometimes mistake them for kin, pausing on their mirrored wings for a fleeting second before flitting away again. By late afternoon, the plastic butterflies cast soft shadows across the soil, their colors deepening as the sunlight bends low. Children notice them first, pointing and smiling. Look! They're protecting the flowers. Adults, caught between nostalgia and surprise, tend to linger longer than expected. Perhaps because these delicate creations whisper something simple, that beauty doesn't always have to be alive to make us feel alive. When twilight comes, the last rays of sun turn their wings translucent, a final dance before dusk. The flower bed glows faintly, as though the butterflies themselves have captured the light. And somewhere in that quiet transformation from plastic to poetry, the garden feels fuller, alive not just with growth, but with imagination. In a quiet nook of the herb garden, where the air smells of rosemary and mint, there stands something that looks almost too charming to be real, a miniature fairy market, built entirely from old cereal boxes. Its stalls lean gently under the weight of tiny herb bundles, its pastel-painted awnings fluttering slightly in the summer air. To anyone passing by, it seems like the smallest, sweetest market in the world, and maybe it is. Each booth has its own specialty. One labeled Thyme and Lemon Balm displays tiny rolled sprigs tied with threads. Another called Parsley Patch shows clusters of moss shaped into pretend greens. The signs are handwritten on cereal box cardboard, their edges cut into scallops and brushed with soft mint paint. The roofs are made of folded paper layered with dry petals, rose, chamomile, and lavender, creating a patchwork of scent and color that seems almost edible. The stalls are arranged along a path of pebbles, like a little village square for fairies and bees. Tiny spice jars serve as display bins, holding bits of sand that look like grains or seeds. A few bottle caps become baskets, painted gold, holding miniature fruits made from colored beads. When the wind blows, the paper awnings sway and the petals above rustle, sounding almost like soft chatter between invisible vendors. But what makes this market truly special isn't its cuteness, it's the quiet message hidden in every corner. Every piece of it was once waste: cereal boxes, bottle caps, plastic twine. And yet, in the right hands, they became a story, a place where imagination sells joy instead of groceries. Visitors smile when they spot it, crouching down to look closer. The herbs behind it seem to join in the illusion, their leaves brushing softly against the cardboard walls. Bees buzz by, landing briefly on the painted signs before flying away again, like regular customers who know their favorite shopkeepers. By evening, when the light turns honey gold, the market glows with a warmth that no real store could match. It's not the materials that make it magical, it's the transformation. A cereal box that once held breakfast now holds dreams, and under the gentle watch of summer, the fairy market reminds you, everything ordinary has the potential to bloom, if you just look at it with a little wonder. Walk a little slower along the garden path, and you might see it, a small, pastel mailbox tucked between the thyme and lavender. Its shape is instantly familiar but softened by moss and sunlight, an old tea tin, reborn into a fairy mailbox, where imagination and nostalgia meet halfway. The tin once carried fragrance in the form of leaves. Now it carries stories, sealed in tiny paper envelopes no larger than a fingernail. The mailbox stands on a short stem of driftwood, leaning slightly, as if it's been here for decades. Its lid opens just enough to reveal a sliver of cream paper, miniature letters made from torn notebook pages, folded and tied with string. Some bear doodles, others simple words. Thank you for the rain, or see you when the moon wakes. It's as if the garden itself writes to the fairies, and they, polite as ever, write back. Around its base, herbs grow thick and fragrant. Chamomile brushes against the tin side, releasing the faint scent of honey when touched. A few ivy tendrils have claimed its corners, curling upward like eager handwriting. The paint, a mix of blush and buttercream, has started to fade, leaving hints of silver metal beneath. And yet, that weathered look only makes it feel more alive, more real. Sometimes, when the wind stirs, the tin creaks softly, as if opening itself to receive another message. Children who visit the garden are often encouraged to leave their own letters for fairies, little wishes scribbled on bits of tissue or leaf. The next day, the letters are gone, replaced with tiny pressed petals or a sprinkle of glitter dust. No one claims responsibility, of course, and that's precisely what keeps the story alive. The mailbox doesn't need to move or speak. It simply exists as proof of belief, a gentle reminder that every corner of the garden holds a conversation between what's seen and what's felt. A tin that once offered warmth through tea now offers wonder through silence. When dusk arrives, the light catches on its curved lid, turning it gold for a fleeting second. In that glow, you can almost imagine tiny wings passing by, delivering hope between the roots and the stars. The garden, once ordinary, becomes a post office for dreams. As dusk folds gently over the garden, something magical begins to glow among the branches. It starts faintly, a few points of gold trembling in the leaves, then slowly brightens until the whole tree looks alive. Step closer and you'll find the secret: dozens of tiny spice jars, once lined up in the kitchen, now reborn as firefly lanterns. Each jar holds a drop of captured light, a single bulb or battery-free shimmer, glowing through glass worn smooth by time. Their lids are painted in soft summer tones: mint, peach, pale lavender. A few still bear faint labels of their past lives: cinnamon, rosemary, paprika. Yet inside, they hold only light, and perhaps a memory of warmth. The jars hang by slender threads of twine, dancing gently with the evening air. When the wind sighs through the branches, they clink softly, like wind chimes made of light. The garden transforms under their glow, leaves gleam with liquid gold, and the air hums with quiet joy. It feels less like decoration and more like a secret festival shared between plants and stars. Each lantern tells its own story. One was once a jar of spice from a family kitchen, another held dried herbs, another perhaps sugar or tea. Together they create a constellation of the everyday, ordinary moments reborn into something extraordinary. The scent of jasmine drifts past, mixing with faint traces of mint and soil. Somewhere nearby, a moth flutters through the light, unafraid. Children who wander into the garden at this hour call it the Tree of Stars. Adults fall silent, caught between nostalgia and wonder. It's hard not to smile knowing that every jar, once discarded, once emptied, now gives back to the night. The act feels small, but its meaning glows wide: transformation, renewal, the soft rebellion of beauty against waste. When the last light of the real fireflies fades, these little lanterns remain, keeping their quiet vigil through the warm summer night. Their glow doesn't dazzle, it soothes. A reminder that magic isn't always loud or rare. Sometimes, it's made by hands that choose to see potential in what's left behind, to fill the empty with light, and the forgotten with purpose. Beneath the shade of the jasmine trellis, where sunlight trickles through leaves like gold dust, something sways gently: not a bird, not a blossom, but a tiny hammock woven from the net of a fruit bag. It hangs between two slender branches, carrying a bed of moss and a single sprig of ivy, as if it were made for fairies to rest among the plants. This little hammock began its life in a kitchen, cradling lemons and oranges, carrying brightness from market to home. Its purpose ended the moment the fruit was gone, or so it seemed. But here, in the soft hush of the garden, that same net has found a second life. Its threads, once destined for the bin, now hold living things again. The weave of orange and gold mesh glows against the greenery, catching sunlight like threads of honey. Inside, a miniature garden unfolds: a tuft of moss like velvet, a sprig of creeping thyme, a pebble smoothed by rain. Together, they turn the hammock into a living ornament, equal parts art and nature. When the wind moves, the net cradles its contents with a soft, rhythmic motion, the kind that reminds you of breathing. It feels alive, even though it's made from something that was never meant to last. Children are always the first to find it. They whisper that fairies nap there after tending the flowers. Adults, meanwhile, marvel at its fragility, the idea that something so delicate could hold life so gently. And maybe that's the lesson tucked inside its threads: beauty doesn't need to be built from strength. Sometimes it's made from softness, care, and a second chance. As dusk drapes itself across the garden, the hammock catches the glow of the nearby spice jar lanterns. The orange netting turns golden, the green of its moss deepens, and it sways in slow time with the evening breeze. It doesn't speak or sparkle. It doesn't ask for attention. It simply is, proof that even the smallest piece of waste can find a new purpose, a new rhythm, a new beauty. In that gentle swing of a fruit net hammock, the garden remembers what we too often forget, that nothing truly ends when it can still hold something alive. In the hush of a summer afternoon, the garden is filled with the soft, tinkling laughter of wind. Follow the sound, and you'll find its source, a string of wind chimes swaying lazily in the breeze, crafted from aluminum tubes and bottle caps that once clattered forgotten in a kitchen drawer. Now, they sing. Each charm gleams differently. Some are made from the slender necks of soda cans, others from bottle caps painted in pastel colors: mint, blush, lemon, sky. They catch the light as they move, reflecting flashes of color that dance across the flowers below. Every gust of wind stirs a quiet melody, a silver whisper, a soft metallic hum, a rhythmic clink that sounds almost alive. The charm strings hang from the pergola beam, their twine tied neatly with beads and dried herbs. A few pieces of sea glass are threaded between the caps, glowing faintly like drops of sunlight. Together, they make a patchwork of light, sound, and motion, a sculpture that's never the same twice. The breeze composes its own song each day, changing tempo and tone as the air shifts across the garden. To anyone passing by, they look simple, childlike even. But if you listen carefully, you hear more than the wind. You hear a conversation between the forgotten and the renewed. Every sound is a reminder of transformation, that beauty can be born from what no longer serves its first purpose. The melody that drifts through the garden is not just the sound of metal, it's the echo of second chances. Bees seem to enjoy it, too. They hover near the shimmering caps, confused but unafraid. Children sit beneath the chimes, eyes closed, listening as if trying to memorize the pattern of the wind's voice. In the distance, a single butterfly flits through the glowing strands, brushing against the metal like a note played on a string. As twilight deepens, the caps glint like scattered stars, still turning softly even after the air grows still. And when the night finally arrives, their gentle music becomes the pulse of the garden, proof that even a soda can or bottle cap, when given a moment of purpose, can make something that sings. In the quiet rhythm of recycled metal and air, the summer evening feels alive. In a quiet bend of the garden, half hidden beneath ferns and thyme, stands a little house that glimmers softly in the afternoon light. Its walls are made from bark, its roof from moss, and its windows, delicate, glowing, translucent, are cut from old milk jugs. If you crouch close enough, you can see your reflection faintly mirrored in them, warped and softened by their curved plastic surface, like a dream seen through fog. These windows don't shine because of perfection, they shine because of possibility. The hands that made them knew that milk plastic, thin and humble, could catch sunlight better than glass if only given a chance. Each window is shaped into a small arch, edged with pressed flowers and twigs that serve as frames. Some are painted pale mint or lavender, others left clear so that the inside, a flicker of shadow and perhaps a fairy silhouette, feels visible only to those who believe. When the sun passes through them, the light scatters across the moss below, turning the earth into stained glass. It's not just brightness, it's warmth. Even the smallest beams look alive here, filtered through a material that once held milk, nourishment, comfort, home. Now that same plastic offers a different kind of sustenance, imagination. The pocket fairy houses that were these windows are tiny, no bigger than a teacup, but they seem to breathe. Wind brushes against the translucent panes and they tremble, catching the sound like soft laughter. On dewy mornings, droplets form on their surface, magnifying the colors of the garden beyond: violet petals, golden pollen, green blades of grass that wave like curtains. Visitors often stumble upon them by accident, drawn by the flicker of light among the leaves. Some leave tiny offerings, a seed, a pebble, a wildflower. Others simply pause, watching the play of color and shadow. For a moment, the garden feels less like earth and more like memory, a place where the disposable becomes divine. At night, small battery candles hidden inside glow faintly through the milk plastic, as if someone were truly home. The light hums softly under the stars. It's the kind of glow that doesn't demand attention, only belief. In those glowing windows, the garden whispers its quiet truth: even the plainest things can shine if they're given a second life. It begins with a jar, the kind that once held pasta sauce, simple and unremarkable. But in the heart of the garden, it becomes something else entirely: a fairy cottage with a blooming roof, where petals and moss spill over like curls of wild hair. The transformation is so gentle that it feels inevitable, as though the jar had been waiting all along to become this little house of light. The glass walls, brushed with diluted paint in shades of lavender and mint, soften the sunlight into a dreamy haze. Inside, you can see faint silhouettes, a sprig of thyme, a pebble floor, perhaps a small paper chair made from a yogurt lid. Around its rim, ivy climbs upward, threading itself like lace. And then there's the roof, a living crown. Moss covers the top like velvet, and from it sprout tiny blooms: forget-me-nots, succulents, wild violets. They nod gently in the wind, alive and growing, as if the cottage itself were breathing. The beauty of this upcycled home isn't in its polish but in its heart. It carries the marks of its past life, faint ridges from its label, a curve that once held sauce, a lid that now cradles life. When the sun hits the glass, it scatters warmth into the soil below, making the nearby herbs seem to lean closer. Bees occasionally hover near the blossoms on the roof, treating them as they would any other flower, unaware that they're visiting a house built by human hands. As the day wanes, the cottage takes on a new kind of glow. A soft flicker from a hidden tea light inside turns the jar into a lantern, its colors deepening to honey and rose. The flowers on the roof catch the last golden light, shimmering like stars about to bloom. The air smells faintly of basil and rain. Everything feels slower, kinder, more deliberate. People who stumble across it rarely speak right away. They just stand there, smiling, because they can feel something in it, the quiet triumph of making beauty out of what was once waste. A pasta jar, empty and forgotten, now holds more life than it ever did before. And in the hush of a summer evening, as petals sway on its tiny roof, it proves that even the most ordinary container can become a vessel for magic. When the summer air turns still and heavy with the scent of jasmine, a soft glow begins to spill from above the garden table. Look up, and you'll see it, a chandelier made from an old colander, reborn as a fountain of light and rain. It sways gently on its twine cord, scattering beams of gold through the holes once meant to drain water. Now, those same holes let light trickle down like a gentle drizzle, the kind that cools the skin but never dampens joy. The chandelier began its life in a kitchen, full of noise and steam. It knew the rhythm of daily work, of rinsed pasta and clattering spoons. Now it hums a different song. Painted in a faded pastel of mint and cream, it hangs quietly from the pergola, catching every shift of light like a silver bell. From its rim dangle beads made from bottle caps and bits of translucent plastic, tiny, imperfect drops that glint and sway with each breeze. When sunlight passes through them, they sparkle as if real rain were falling indoors. At twilight, small LED lights hidden inside the colander awaken, turning the entire piece into a glowing halo of soft, dripping light. The garden below reflects those shimmers, petals, moss, and pebbles glowing faintly like they're part of the chandelier's spell. Visitors often smile when they spot it. It feels like something from a fairy festival, both familiar and otherworldly. There's warmth in its imperfection, poetry in its reuse. It doesn't pretend to be a grand chandelier, it's humbler, more heartfelt. Its beauty lies in its honesty, a kitchen relic transformed into art, without losing the memory of its past life. As the evening deepens, the chandelier moves with the wind, and each glimmer flickers differently, like laughter shared between leaves. The soft clinking of the bottle caps against its rim sounds like summer rain on tin, rhythmic, nostalgic, soothing. And just like that, what was once meant to drain away becomes something that gathers light instead. The colander has found a new purpose, not to strain, but to shine. In the heart of the garden, beneath its soft shimmering rain, the night feels alive with quiet gratitude. Because even the most ordinary things, when lifted by imagination, can pour beauty back into the world. Hidden between the ivy vines and climbing roses, barely noticeable unless you're looking closely, a small curve of light catches your eye. It's not a birdhouse, not a lantern, it's a tiny balcony, carved from an old dish soap bottle and fastened gently to the garden fence. The plastic soft curve forms the perfect terrace, its edges scalloped like lace, its surface painted in faded mint and pearl. It looks so natural that you'd almost think the fence had grown it. The balcony sits quietly in the dappled shade, half covered in moss, half kissed by sunlight. A few sprigs of thyme grow beneath it, brushing softly against its edge. Inside the balcony rests a tiny clay pot filled with succulents, and hanging from its rim, a curtain of lace cut from a fruit net, fluttering with each breath of wind. When the breeze moves, the entire structure sways slightly, just enough to catch the light and make you wonder, who lives here? Children like to imagine a fairy who comes at dusk, leaning on that curved railing to watch the sunset over the lavender field. Adults smile at the idea, but they too stop to admire it, the craftsmanship, the creativity, the quiet rebellion of turning waste into wonder. The balcony doesn't shout for attention. It whispers softly of care, of imagination, of small beauty built from nothing but patience and play. The plastic itself tells a story. Once it held the scent of lemons and soap, now it holds the scent of flowers and rain. Its surface, though worn, gleams faintly in the sun. The curve of its neck forms the railing, while its handle, cut and shaped, becomes the foundation. The transformation feels poetic. What once clean now simply belongs. As twilight approaches, a soft golden light hidden within the balcony begins to glow. It casts patterns through the curved plastic, shimmering across the fence like rippling water. The vines sway gently, brushing against it like curtains in a hidden window. And in that brief, magical light, the fence becomes more than wood. It becomes a story, a secret, a home for imagination. In the end, the balcony's charm lies not in what it is but in what it suggests, that every forgotten thing can hold a fragment of wonder if only we give it space to exist. Even a soap bottle, reborn with love, can find its place in the sunlight once more. At the edge of the garden, where the path turns toward a cluster of wildflowers, stands a sculpture so simple yet so full of grace that it almost seems alive. It rises in 3 soft pastel tiers, a fairy plant stand, built entirely from recycled plastic food trays. Once containers for leftovers, fruit, and pastries, these trays now hold something much sweeter, life itself. Each tier is painted in the colors of a summer sky, mint, peach, lavender. The edges are trimmed with moss, and thin bamboo sticks support the structure, giving it the poise of a miniature tower. In the bottom layer, thyme and creeping rosemary spill over the sides. The middle holds bursts of pansies and small succulents, while the top tier glows with tiny wild daisies that catch the sunlight like small halos. The balance between order and chaos feels effortless, as if nature itself approved the design. When the wind blows, petals from nearby flowers fall softly onto the trays, adding their color to the display. Bees hover close, attracted by the scent of herbs, and sometimes a butterfly rests on the upper edge, tilting its wings in approval. The trays gleam faintly under the sun, their once clear plastic now transformed into pastel mirrors that reflect the light of summer afternoons. What makes this creation magical isn't just its beauty, but its irony. These were items meant to be thrown away, symbols of the disposable. And yet, here they are, standing tall, nurturing new life, showing that what we discard too easily may still have purpose. The structure doesn't hide its origins. Faint imprints of labels still remain beneath the paint, small reminders of where it came from and how far it's come. By evening, when golden light slants across the garden, the stand takes on a quiet glow. The petals look warmer, the shadows softer, and the whole creation hums with an energy that feels like gratitude, from plastic, from plants, from hands that cared enough to give both another chance. It isn't grand. It isn't perfect. But it's profoundly human, a testament to what happens when imagination meets intention. A tower of transformation. A small altar of renewal. A fairy's garden built from yesterday's waste, now standing proudly beneath today's sun. And as the day fades, you realize it's not just a plant stand, it's a reminder that beauty, like kindness, multiplies when it's shared.